Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing the palette of the week video. I'm sorry that this is up a little bit late. I was going to put it up last Wednesday, but I had some traveling, so I'm getting back on track and putting it up this Wednesday. The palette of the week is the Laura Mercier artist palette that came out this season. I know they had one out last Christmas season, but this is the one for this year. And if you just kind of want to see how I use the palette and all that fun stuff, go ahead and keep watching. When it's autumn, I'm going to go ahead and start on look number 1 of the Laura Mercier artist palette. This is the second one. This is this year's eyeshadow palette. And yeah, so I haven't primed my eyes or anything because I'm unorganized like that. So I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyes and then I'll get started. Alright, so I primed my eyes with the Benefit Stay Don't Stray. And now I'm just going to go in with Bamboo on the lid. Hope you can see all this fun stuff really well. Okay, so now that I have Bamboo on the lid, I'm going to go in just with my Sigma little blending brush, and I'm going to blend out around it and kind of see what I'm left with. So now that I have this, I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to use the color Fresco, and I'm going to warm up the crease. Okay, so again, I'm going to go in with a blending brush and blend that out. Alright, now that it's all blended, I'm going to go in with Sparkling Dew in the inner corner. Okay, so now that I've placed the lighter shade, I wanted to go ahead and do that before I did the darker shade with this brush. And I'm actually going to take Truffle along the lash line a little bit out here, and then into the V, and then below. So this is kind of what I'm going to have before blending. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and blend these areas out and see if there's anything else that I need to add for dimension. Okay, so I think I'm going to go back in with a little bit more Fresco just to kind of warm it up. I don't think you could ever get enough of this color. So I just kind of dipped my blending brush into it just a little bit. Okay, and that's it. I'm going to curl my eyelashes, put on my mascara, do my brows, and put on some lipstick, and then I will be back to tell you what is on my face. Okay, so I'm back to tell you what else is on my face. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and start out with my eyes. I'm going to do a recap. And so on my eyes I have Bamboo all over the lid, and then I have Fresco worked into the crease and a little bit above the crease to warm it up. I have Truffle in the outer V and under the lash line and along the outer top lash line, just kind of this half of my eye to define. And then I have Sparkling Dew in the inner corner. So that's everything that I used on my eyes today out of the palette. And so then I'm going to tell you on my lips is the Milani Naturally Chic lipstick is the shade. And it's pretty much just like my lip color, only it evens everything out. On my cheeks I have the CoverGirl Soft Mink blush. This was, I'm pretty sure it was suggested by Flower Bomb 31, but I could totally be making that up. And there it is. It's actually really, really, really pretty. So really happy that I picked that up. For my foundations, I actually used 2 today because this one's a little bit too dark. So I lightened it up with the Revlon Nearly Naked. So this is the Revlon Color Stay Whipped in the color 320 Warm Golden, and then this is in 120 Vanilla. For mascara, I just have 1 coat of the MAC Zoom Lash. I really like this stuff. And then as an all over kind of just dusted all over my face powder, I have the Wet n Wild Reserve Your Cabana, just kind of on the cheekbones, forehead, down the nose, chin. I used my the Body Shop, what is this? This is their bronzing powder, and this is the light matte shade in 01. And I went into the Body Shop and I was like swatching 02. 01 is a little bit darker than 02, so if you're going to go online and order the 02 thinking it's going to be darker, it's not. So just a little FYI. And that is everything on my face. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start off with the shade Vanilla Nuts. And I'm going to use this flat Sonia Kashuk shader brush that I got in a kit. And I'm just going to dust this all over the lid just to kind of get an area, like an even area. Okay, now that I have that on, I'm going to try to do a more purple look today. So I'm going to go all over the lid with Plum Smoke. And I'm going to take that just a little bit up over the crease, just slightly. Okay, now that it's all over the lid, I'm just going to go in with the Sigma shader brush and kind of just buff it out. I'm going to take this Coastal Scents little detailer brush and I'm going to go in with Plum Smoke and go under the bottom lash line. So now I'm going to go in with Fresco and kind of dust it right here on the crease line. And I'm just going to use this Sigma blending brush for that. Just trying to warm up the area a little bit. Now going in with the shade Truffle, I'm just going to deepen out here a little bit. And I'm just going to use that blending brush again because I still want it to be kind of soft. I'm just going to take this large Soho, I think it's, yeah, Soho London, I think, brush and blend it all out. The last thing I'm going to do to brighten up the area is take the shade Guava and place it along the inner tear duct. Okay, so I want to go ahead and keep this look kind of soft, so I'm not going to apply any eyeliner. I'm going to do my mascara and then I will be back to tell you what all is on my face. Okay, so here is everything that is on my face. I'm going to go over the eyeshadows first just to kind of do an overview. First thing I did was I dusted Vanilla Nuts on the lid all the way up to the brow just to give an even canvas. I then went in with Plum Smoke and placed that on the lid all the way up a little bit above the crease. And then I buffed in a little bit of Truffle just to kind of warm it up right up here. And not Truffle, Fresco. Fresco is what I used to warm up. And then I used Truffle a little bit just right here in the outer crease just to give it a little bit more dimension. Then I used Plum Smoke underneath the bottom lash line. And then I used Guava right here in the inner corner to brighten it up. So that is everything that I used on my eyes. I did not use any eyeliner and I didn't really use any shades today as eyeliner because I wanted this to be a softer look. For mascara, I did the Jordana, what is it, Best Lash Extreme. I laid that down first and then I went through with my CoverGirl Clump Crusher just to kind of separate the lashes and give it more of a natural look. My foundations that I'm wearing today are the Revlon Color Stay Whipped and the Revlon Nearly Naked. I'm just trying to use up the whipped foundation and I have to lighten it a little bit with the Nearly Naked. The lip gloss I have on right now is this mini of Buxom, and this is in Dolly. And this is just like a plumping lip gloss. And then on my cheeks, and I'm not quite sure how well you notice just the sheen on my cheeks, it's this CoverGirl blush, and this is in Natural Glow, and it just gives a beautiful skin tone sheen to the cheeks. So, I mean, you could use this as a really subtle highlighter, but I just like to use it all over the cheeks just to give it a little bit of a glow. So I will put a swatch on my finger to where maybe you can notice it just a little bit better. So it's right here on my middle finger. Hope you can see that. but it's absolutely gorgeous on the cheeks. So I just got this. It's right here. I just got it and I'm actually really pleased with it. So that is everything that's on my face today. I'm going to go ahead and start with look 3 of the Laura Mercier Artist Palette. Go ahead and start the look using my Sonia Kashuk flat shader brush. And I think today I'm going to go ahead and dive in with Bamboo all over the lid. Kashuk shader brush and kind of just fluff it out. Or blend it out. Now I'm going to go in with this brush, which is kind of like a pencil brush, and I am going to dig into Truffle and deepen up the crease. Go ahead and go back in with my Sonia Kashuk blending brush and blend out the crease. I'm now going to take this angled brush and go into Espresso Bean and apply liner. I'm only applying the liner, I didn't mention, pretty much from the middle of my eye out, so I'm not going to go all the way in. Now that the liner portion is applied, I'm going to go ahead and go under my eyes and sweep away any of the fallout. Alright, I'm going to go in and brighten up the inner corner of the eye and kind of bring it down under. And I'm going to use the shade Guava for that. Go ahead, go off camera, apply the rest of my face, and then I will be back to kind of do an overview of the eye, and then I'll do my palette review and all that fun stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go over what is on my face, and then I'm going to go into the review of the palette. So what I put on my face after I turned off the camera was the Maybelline The Rocket Volume Express. That's the mascara that I'm using right now. I'm just trying to go through mascaras and use them up before I buy another one, and that's one of them. I have 2 different eyeliners right here on my inner rim. I sometimes feel like a nude liner is a little harsh, and I also want something a little bit more reflective, so I used my Rimmel Scandalized Waterproof Kohl Kajal. I put that down first, and then I used my Physicians Formula, and this came in a 3-pack of the shimmer strips, and I used this right on top of it, and I'll show you the effect that it has. So it's like a subdued, I don't know if you can see that, but that's what they look like when they're on top of each other. And I prefer that look to the Kohl Kajal just by itself, at least on me. So that's what's on my under rim. So on my cheeks I have 3 different products. I have the Body Shop, this is their bronzing powder, and this is in light matte. So I use that to do a little bit of contouring. It's a very subtle contour. Then the blush I have is probably the lightest blush that I own, and this is Sex Appeal by NARS. This is just a super, super light blush, and it's, here you go, you can kind of see it on the finger, and it just adds a little, just a little something, because I didn't want to go overboard on the blush today. Oops, let's fix that. I didn't want to go overboard on the blush today because this is more of like a winged effect thing, and I'm using a lot of mascara. And then the highlighter that I'm using is the Becca, and this is the Rose Gold. The, what do they call this? The Shimmering Skin Perfector Pressed, and this is in Rose Gold. So that is everything on my face. The foundations that I'm using are the same ones that I used yesterday, and these are the Revlon Color Stay Whipped and the Revlon Nearly Naked. I just mixed these together for a color match because I'm trying to use this one up. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and talk about the palette. So if you want, I'm going to go ahead and link the video where I reviewed the palette, so I don't have to do a ton of reviewing here. But I'm just going to kind of tell you how they wore. So here are all the shades, and again I'll link the video if you want to see everything in more depth and swatches of everything. But as you can see, I've used a lot of this palette this month. This was in my monthly favorites. I traveled with this, so I did a ton of looks. And I will have to tell you that everybody else's favorite shade is the African Violet, and that's my it doesn't really do anything for me. It's not really my thing. The shades that I really liked though are Fresco and Bamboo. I thought those were really nice. I kept gravitating. You can kind of see which ones have the bigger dips, and it's definitely Fresco and Bamboo. And yeah, and I just used Violet ink and Espresso Bean really as liners or just to deepen out a little bit, so I didn't use those a ton. And then the shades Guava and Primrose are actually quite similar. As you can see, like on my finger. Maybe I need to block the back of that. They're very similar. I don't see a whole lot of difference between them, so I think that the palette could have been a little bit more versatile if they had maybe substituted something in for that. But I can tell you that one is a little bit more pink toned, and that's Primrose, and Guava is slightly, I guess, I don't know, it's just a lighter pink tone, I guess. But I mean, there's not a huge difference between them. Vanilla Nuts is a really good sort of all over canvas shade. Sparkling Dew, I also feel like it's really close to the others too, but it's the lightest of them. It's barely pink at all. I don't even know if you can see that. So yeah, but between Sparkling Dew, Guava, and Primrose, they could have gotten rid of one of those shades and added something else in. If I were the one making this palette, I would have added in the shade, like a shade that was like more bronzy, or possibly even something that I have here in the single that I'll show you. And this is their shade in Baroque. I think this would have been a really nice addition to possibly the bottom row. It's a little bit more sparkly. I think my favorite shade though out of this entire palette would have to be Fresco. It's really versatile. I've worn it on its own into the crease or just all over the lid and worked up. It's like a pinky tannish brown is the best way to describe it. It's almost like a pink and khaki-ish shade. I don't know. It's here. But it's gorgeous, and I didn't think I would really like that shade that much, but I really, really do. Overall, this is a really great palette. I suggest getting it. It's $48 in the US, I think $60 in Canada. As somebody pointed out to me when I did the review, that they're like, it's $60 in Canada. But obviously we're on different currencies, so that's why it's more expensive there. But yeah, I think that this is a great palette to have. I don't really own a lot of purple eyeshadows. For some reason, I don't really gravitate towards them, so this is also a great palette for me to kind of work a little bit of purple into my eye looks. All these shades down here, these brown shades, almost all of them still have like a pink or a rose undertone. So up here you have your plums and purples, and down here you have a rose undertone to a lot of them. I think Espresso Bean possibly doesn't have the rose undertone, and maybe Bamboo, but the rest of them kind of do have that rose undertone. And somebody had said that even when they use only the bottom row shadows, that their look comes out purple looking, and I don't think that it's really purple. I think, again, like I said, it's very rose. Anyway, that is my final thought on the palette, and I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope it was helpful. If you have any looks that you've done with this palette, tell me about them and I'll check them out. And questions, comments, put those below as well. Oh, and I completely forgot to tell you which palette is going to be the palette of the week for next week. It's going to be the Lorac Pro palette that I just got. Here it is. And I'm going to be doing my palette of the week video a little bit different next week. It's going to be a collaboration video. And I'm going to be collaborating with Mr. Kong's mom and Nelia476. So make sure you check out their channels. But we're each just going to do one look using this palette. We're going to do a smoky look, a work appropriate look, and then like an everyday neutral look. Or like a minimal look or whatever. So that's what we plan on doing with this. So if you want to check that out, check out their channels if you haven't already. And yeah, so anyway, I will talk to y'all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye!